In my case, I just fuck up my sleep schedule just by accident.
That's a great thing to
said
start
that
off this.
right as he starts his recording. The 3,
Yes.
2, 1 is.
Oh,
That
I
is
didn't even know.
that is the first immediate thing people will hear.
Oh my god.
Whoops.
Also, I do want to say, hopefully my microphone is better because I got a new one.
Wonderful. Yes, that is great.
Neato.
I can control my gain.
You guys are like
Nice.
louder, I think.
I will turn it down.
Probably.
No. Actually, keep it there. I'd actually rather it be slightly too loud than way too quiet because
Yeah.
I've been showing this.
Yeah.
Oh, the noise floor would be a headache.
Yeah, I was showing this to my dad, and the main problem is I can't hear people talking. I'm like, I may have done loudness normalization too much. But, welcome back. This is a prelude to Scenario 2. We'll call it Chapter 1.5. I have with me 3...
Or Chapter 2 Prologue.
Sure. But then, I think I'll call it 1.5, because this is just like a thing that'll happen. I have 3 of the 4 investigators here. The only 3 that matter.
At this time.
At this current moment.
At this time.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot, DM.
And they may introduce themselves.
Sup, I'm Remington, out of Morrowland. I'm a carpenter, and, let's do this stuff. I guess. I don't know.
Hey, I'm Casey. Username Dark.
And
Hello,
finally,
everyone. I am Fluff, and my character is Floyd Amil. I am the doctor of this whole brigade, and I've seen some shit.
you have seen some shit. You're reading some shit, if I remember correctly.
Reading, seeing. It's only been one
You've absolved
chapter.
yourself into it, man.
I've only. It's been one chapter, and already I've had to like get 2 people away from fatal injuries.
And yourself,
Whoa.
you were reduced to 1 hit point.
Yeah, I was reduced to 1 hit point. Listen, I'm gonna come out of this whole scenario as a god with all this trauma. I guarantee that now. Like, I'm gonna go through some more shit.
You can psychoanalyze others, but you can never psychoanalyze yourself. Anyway, so these 3, and of course Thomas Lawton, who is not here with us, as his character is currently going to be unconscious for an entire month, or, well, not unconscious, but pretty much in delirium, bedridden for a month, being slowly killed by some weird disease that Floyd is trying their best to treat. Unfortunately, a little something is going to get in their way. About a week after the events of the Corbett House investigation, the same encounter. Where are all 3 of you? It's a week after it. Everything has happened. Are the 3 of you together doing anything, or are
I would
you
say
all...
yeah. I mean, like we're all together or something like that. But I mean, I just don't know where.
I feel like after a week we would all probably meet up at my office area, so I can retreat some of the wounds because these guys aren't fully healed. I would have to check on it as it heals, and so that they can visit their friend because again he's in delirium.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, it's nice to catch up with the
the people
gang.
you almost died with.
yeah.
Indeed. And Catherine, however, is not there. Dark, you get the feeling that Catherine really doesn't want to think about what happened at that house.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Uh,
She's probably spending time with her mother. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
and you, all 3 of you, can see that Thomas's condition is absolutely dreadful. It's not going well. And as you 3 are kind of in his patient room, he occasionally kind of becomes half conscious, a little bit slurred in his speech. You try to have conversations with him, but they're kind of inane things that don't really mean much.
he's just delirious from opioids. Cool.
From Yep.
Opioids.
Or spiritual opioids in this case.
Yeah, that's what he's delirious from.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because as you guys are there, is the door closed to the room, or do you guys have it open?
I mean, it'd probably be closed, yeah, because
In that
we don't
case,
want people to hear us.
the three of you hear a frantic knock on the door.
All right.
It conveys anxiousness
Oh
in its
boy.
rapid pace.
Do you want me to answer the
Like-
door?
And before you even answer it, you hear the voice of Floyd's receptionist. Doc?
What is it?
And she opens the door, and she looks quite anxious. And she says, "You have some visitors, and it's the police."
Oh, crap.
Excuse? Alright, okay, Casey, you and, sorry, I've got something in my throat for some reason. You and Adam stay here, I'll go deal with this.
All
And
right.
I leave to go talk to the police.
And
You
Casey
walk-
just nods.
You walk out into the hall, and you see not just one police, you see about 6 police officers.
Oh shit.
They are armed. Some of
I
them
come
with
out-
rifles.
I come out with my hands up slightly so they see that I am unarmed. Officers, what seems to be the problem?
Are you Dr. Floyd Amil?
Names on the business, yes sir.
Do you know the location of a Miss Kaya Camille O'Neill, a Mr. Adam Morrowland, and a Mr. Thomas Lawton?
Sir, that goes against my patient confidentiality. So I cannot give you the location of these patients. However, you can talk to me. What seems
Before you've
the
even
issue.
finished that, he looks off to the side to some of their officers, and he says, "Search the place. Doctor, you're under arrest for suspicion of the murder of 3 police officers, the injuring of another, and the potential kidnapping of a 5th.
kidnapping.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you."
Quick, quick reminder. My character is a girl.
Yep.
Yep. You
Is this-
said Mister.
I thought I said miss.
Nope.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Alright, well, he says miss.
Okay, can I interrupt the doctor and let him know that that Mr. Thomas will not be leaving this establishment because he is extremely bedridden. As in, he cannot leave that bed at all. So it'd be better if he just handcuffed him to the bed itself.
He nods his head. And he says, My officers will investigate that. If he is indeed as you say, then he will not be exactly under arrest.
I will warn
do you
you.
have
I
do you
will
have
warn you.
another doctor that can take care of him?
Sir, this is a private establishment. Therefore, I am the only physician here. And if you do anything that further extenuates my patient's care, I will personally sue you and the city for enforcing such things.
Then would you mind if we transferred him to a hospital?
You can keep him here, and you can bring your officers to him. I am not letting you let him leave this establishment in his current position.
Condition.
Thank you, Dark.
He sighs. And he says, well, if he's bedridden, he's not running anyway. You,
Glad you
Floyd,
understand.
unless you are specifically resisting, you are handcuffed.
I'm not resisting. I'm perfectly calm.
And you are escorted into the back of a police car. And the other 2 of you,
I'll just
They're-
follow suit.
yep, you 2 experience the same thing. Are you both
Yeah,
agreeing?
Casey. Casey is just kind of letting them do it.
And they
She's very confused, but
Yep. They have a look at Thomas, and you both witnessed this, and they confirm what Floyd has said with the receptionist. And
Can I?
they,
So am I too far away where they can't hear? Where these two can't hear me?
you are being escorted by two officers.
Okay. Okay. I can't really say nothing.
So two
Damn it.
officers can hear you, but the other four probably wouldn't.
Damn it. I wanted to say don't say anything without a lawyer.
I hate to inform you, but you might be the only person rich enough to afford a good lawyer.
A good lawyer for the three of us.
I'm not sure if you get group tried.
I mean, if they're charging us as a group, that we can get tried as a group.
yep.
Okay. I'm not a lawyer, so... so you three are arrested, and they
One of my
do not...
friends is the legal advisor, and also there's legal shit going on with pardon whatever. But that's besides the point.
That's also Canadian law.
Damn. Canadian.
And you three are escorted to
sorry,
the back
George.
of a police car.
Wait, did you not know that?
Wait, what?
Did you not know that?
I know what.
No, what?
That I'm Canadian?
I knew you were Canadian. It's in your description.
Listen,
And
we
you
can
talk
tell
about it,
just
like,
by your demeanor that you love bagged milk, okay? We know it.
That's Ontario. That's Ontario and Quebec mostly.
Oh my god.
I live in Alberta.
Heck, you're going down, my dude. You better cut this out because you're gonna get canceled by the Canadians.
By who? My 8 viewers who actually look at this? Oh, God.
Get canceled on X. Can't
Canceled
say
on
Twitter
X!
anymore.
They're gonna release a collection of cancelable tweets on me. They're gonna call it the X
They're not
Files.
tweets anymore.
They're just gonna just
X-
be the main content of them are just like, I'm not your buddy.
Wait. Are Twitter videos now going to be called X videos? 'Cause that's insane.
God, okay.
Oh my god, that's the funniest thing ever.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you guys are being arrested. You're being driven to the police station, where you are interred for about a day. You are. And
Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm clearing my throat. Told you there's something in there.
badgers, perhaps eldritch entities.
Demons.
But you are interred for a day, and you are informed that that Thomas is not being arrested at the time. They are waiting for his condition to improve, which I mean, that's
Gonna be
rough if he's not
wild.
going to a hospital. But yeah, you guys are interred for about a day, and then the next day, you all are called to one of the interrogation rooms. And
Okay,
you,
so while we were interred for a day, we were holding the same cell, right?
you are in separate cells in close proximity to each other.
Okay, so I will say to them, don't say anything without a lawyer, because they can hear me.
Yeah. Understood.
Okay.
Casey just nods.
Well, you are called to the interrogation room. And as you are led in by an officer, there is a man sitting at a desk. There are 3 chairs on the other side of the desk for you all to sit in. And you would know, Floyd, because you are absolutely educated enough. This is a police investigator.
Okay.
And he beckons you to sit down.
We can sit.
To describe this man appears to be in his late 30s. He has fading auburn hair and beard. He is stoutly rather than strongly built, and his posture gives off a sense of professionalism, and his glasses betray his astute nature.
Mm.
He pulls out a notebook and scribbles a bit in it, making writings on 3 separate pages, as you notice. It's almost uncomfortably quiet as he seems to be doing prep work before he even speaks to you. But eventually, he looks up from his notebook, says, and he looks directly at you, Floyd, and he says, "Well, Doc, I didn't think I'd be seeing you on the suspect list."
Likewise. Didn't
Oh.
think I'd see you as an investigator.
I didn't think you'd remember me.
I remember many faces, sir.
And, how have things been going since you've been serving in the 3rd Division, Floyd?
Well, your officers were able to see my practice. I'm doing decent for myself. Although I don't think that's what you want to talk about today, is it?
Well, I mean, I don't often get to do a lot of talking with people I really want to talk to. I mean, you're probably an exception to that. I mean, you're a war hero, don't you know? Boys in the division had a nickname for you after the war. Angel of
God.
Osnia, they called you.
That nickname's gonna haunt me to my grave. I'm
But-
no more of an angel than the rest of the men who have fallen. I was just one of the lucky ones that didn't get killed.
I guess before anything, I should thank you for taking care of my daughter as much as you did.
I remember her. How's she doing?
She's dead, thanks for asking.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, mob violence. I told her not to get involved with those boys. But
She's had a sweetheart. I guess she was just doing what she thought was right. Ended up on the wrong side of town.
and he looks over to Kaya and he says, "It's also a bit of a surprise to see you. Father does good work for us." And you know, Kaya, that your father's company is actually subsidized by the state government to provide firearms and produce firearms that are used by the police. It's one of the biggest profit things for your father's business. And he leans back, and the friendly smile he had sort of turns into a neutral expression, one that clearly states that as much as he enjoys talking as friends, there's business to be done.
Of course.
And he says, "Well, I suppose you've all been told what you're being brought here for. I'd like to have it known before anything that while this testimony or this interrogation is to get your side of the story to be presented to the court as evidence, should the state, after receiving it, wish to proceed with the case, or perhaps to exonerate you by providing additional information that makes you cleared of suspicion. Either way, at any point, you may choose not to continue this interrogation, and you will be allowed to go back to your cells. I will have to inform you, though, that if you do this, the state will most likely decide to go forward with the case, and you will have to give that testimony at court rather than to me."
Of course. That's to be expected.
Now, I'm sure you're all aware that there was an incident at, and he says the address of the house that you investigated. And at this location, on the afternoon of September 19th, there were 3 deaths of police officers. There were 5 police officers sent to that house. 3 of them ended up dead, One of them was wounded and in a severe state of mental disarray. And a fifth that we sent there disappeared off the face of the earth and has not resurfaced since that day.
Casey's gonna
Okay.
Casey's gonna be like, what did the guy who disappeared look like?
And as he describes that individual,
That was the guy at the stand, wasn't it?
it
Yeah,
was.
that's what I'm thinking.
The description matches that.
Okay.
Alright.
I would like. Okay. Well, I do remember the fact that there were what we saw when we arrived there, but I guess I can tell you our version of it. So, simply put, we were hired to go investigate that house, and we took a break. And then the next day we came, and there were 3 officers dead. The one officer that you described that went insane did attack us, and we defended ourselves. And we did see the last officer. What?
Casey is just gonna interject a bit. I would also like to point out that when we got there, he was kind of huddled in a ball, rocking back and forth. He's like, I killed them.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't really seem that he was all there.
Now, investigator, I know this sounds wildly out of ordinary, especially when it's when 3 of your officers cannot testify themselves. But we do have a witness who can corroborate our side of the story.
And that witness is?
See, near that house, there is a cigar vendor who watched us approach the house the first day, leave, and also interacted with your missing officer. In fact, we saw your officer talking to him before he left the area. And I found it odd that your officer would turn his back on his team to go talk to his cigar vendor. Isn't that a bit strange?
That is an odd thing to have happen.
So if you were to go talk to the vendor, who I very much do not doubt is still there, I feel like he would cooperate our side.
Perhaps he would. So, you acknowledge that you went to that property on that afternoon? And that
Yes, sir. Because we were paid to. See, we were hired to investigate the property since it has changed hands to Mr. Lloyd. As you recall, you know Mr. Lloyd, correct?
Indeed. He is one of the 2 testimonies of witnesses that I have placing you at the house at the time of the incident.
See,
The
he had
other
asked
being the
us,
cigar vendor.
See, he had asked us to merely take a look at the property and see what was causing such hysteria. And I will admit, we did have to get violent with the insane one. And I show him the big, bruise that's probably on the back of my head. It says, he did attack first, though.
And it's not like we did anything other than render him unconscious and, ensure that he didn't come
Hurt
after
anyone
us
else.
again.
In fact, sir, he was very close to taking his own life.
Very, very close.
Well, that is certainly a story. And he's writing a lot down in his notebook. And then he stares very pointedly at you and says, "So why is it that I have witness testimony of you dragging that man out of the house?"
Again, sir, we had to render him unconscious. But we also did not want to have him wake up surrounded by dead bodies again. I evaluated that if he were to stay within that house, he would have gotten even worse. And you know how my evaluations are, sir.
And if you were so concerned with the safety, why did you not call an ambulance? Or, for God's sake, the police?
Sir, respectfully, the house had no electricity. and we could not risk him waking up miles away. We could not risk, because I was already very much wounded, and we could not risk leaving him alone, or leaving him with, myself, or someone else that could get hurt very easily, to go find a damn telephone box. You know how flimsy these things can get. You know how body reception is, even in those woods. We were hoping, praying even, that we could at least handle the situation as we could before we could go get help.
You are civilians, yes?
In your sense, yes.
In the sense of public safety, when confronted by what appears to be multiple homicides, it is you must understand, it's very difficult to believe that one would not refer to the police immediately upon seeing such a thing.
Considering that a policeman is the one who attacked us.
We weren't really sure how that would be taken with the rest of your squad. You know
Yeah.
how easily people can get turned on civilians when it comes to their own, don't you?
It looks even worse to leave the situation without making anyone aware.
Well, sir, do you not have records of that day, exactly 3 hours later? There was a phone call made by the time I made it back to my physician's office. Are you to tell me that phone call did not get recorded or written down in any regard?
Out of character, what phone call are you referring to?
I'm making shit up so that I can say.
Okay.
I'm saying
Fast
hey,
talk roll.
Oh God. Okay.
If
Oh,
you are
I forgot.
lying boldly, that is a fast talk roll.
Oh God. Okay, hang on. I forgot to pull up a dice.
Oh crap. I don't know what you're doing.
And
I
it's also going to be opposed to his very high psychology roll.
Okay, wait, what's my fast talk? Shit. Oh, wait, damn. I picked the wrong dice. What, it's a 100, right?
Yep, D100.
I don't
Let's see. Oh, wait. Shit. The site's crashing on me.
You're good.
I got a 2!
You have a 2.
Okay.
You have a 2. Well.
Mhm.
He says, if there was a phone call, I'm not aware of it. Could you give me a specific time?
I can't give specifics. It's about a week later, but I would say, Hex, what time was it when we got home?
It was like 1:30 or something in the afternoon, wasn't it?
Probably be 1:30 to 2, about then.
Yeah.
I would
You arrived
say
at 11 a.m.
I would say it was around 1:45 in the afternoon.
I could have sworn in the previous thing that you rolled on, you said it was at 4.
Well, yeah, because I couldn't remember what time. But I'm trying to keep things like closer to the time, so where like it'd be like, okay, it'd be after we got home and I got Thomas to the back.
Okay, that's fine.
So that is me
So,
going back
yeah,
on that.
then
But
you-
it's around
then-
1:45.
Yeah, then you would have. Then I'll say you can say that you would have said that if you had known.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So
That was a player fuck up, not a Floyd fuck up.
he says, "I will reinvestigate the phone records, then, and see if I find what you allege to have happened."
Although, now that I think about it, 1:45, that's about when members of the squad do tend to go on lunch, correct? They can't go where the civilians usually go on lunch, so it is possible that it may have been buried in the deep depths of a wrapper from the local establishment.
45 minutes is quite a long lunch break.
I do agree. But say someone left at 1:30, was already very, very tired. Could have answered the phone, just not caring. I will say that it is improbable, but possible still.
We typically have rotating breaks for the receptionist of calls.
I'm not
That way
saying
we
that you
never
don't,
miss one.
but it is
Again, I will
possible.
read. It would
Sorry.
be very unlikely, but we will investigate this. So, you say you encountered the scene as we found it, with the exception of the individual of the surviving officer sitting there. Can you
Yes, sir.
describe what he? Can you describe your encounter with him?
We entered the house, and we saw most of the officers down, dead.
And
we
like
remain
I
in
said,
a-
and
Go ahead.
as I said earlier, when we entered, there were 3 dead bodies, and he was sitting in a corner, rocking back and forth, and muttering to himself, I killed them, like a crazy person.
I approached him, and he was very, very not well. And at one point, he had his gun to his head, and was very intent on shooting himself. I did manage to talk him out of it. You've seen how I can handle on in combat situations like that, don't you, investigator? Don't
I
you remember? That's exactly what I had to do, and it's not something I like doing.
And he
Yeah.
he stands up and he goes to a small a shelf in the room, and he pulls out files, one of which bears what looks like a name on the portion where the file would be labeled. And he looks through and he says, the issue I have with that is that officer has no history of psychological issues.
I understand that, sir.
It seems strange that he would be suffering from any.
Sir, do you have any history on that house? The location that your officers were pulled into. Do you have any records of that of your own?
We have some strange reports of, well, screaming, domestic issues from that house, yes.
I would like you to tell me, do you remember Miss, what was her name? The name of the patient we went to go
Macaria.
see. Who?
Macaria.
Do you remember Lady Macaria and her family? They were in that house for a very short period of time, and you know that they are residents of the local asylum. I don't know what was in the house beforehand, and I don't know what happened after we were done, but I do know something in that house drove them into insanity. They were very normal people before they went into that house. You remember that.
I mean, not to mention, it's called a psychotic break for a reason.
Just out of character, you guys are talking an awful lot for saying you wanted a lawyer and you're
Yeah,
not talking.
yeah, I realized that, but honestly, there's no time at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scrap that concept.
Yeah.
Or at least, I mean, like, I'm, what was it, out of character on this one. I'm letting you two do the talking because I can keep up word-wise.
Poor Adam hasn't gotten a damn word in.
Well, to be honestly, I'm kind
case
of
he's
glad
not
I
really,
haven't gotten a word in.
His
Casey
his
isn't,
contribution to the entire situation was falling out of a window, so there's
Yeah,
not really much to talk
exactly.
about.
Yeah, wait, use that to your advantage. Be like, also, sir, do you really think there was something I could do? And point to your back.
Yes! Oh my god, yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna probably word that wise, but I mean, yeah, I guess the concept can be put in that way.
Are you mentioning your back injuries to him?
I mean, I can would y'all be down
It's
with
your
that?
decision.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I'll just show the back injury and just, make an alert to it. I can't keep up word-wise.
He actually takes a huge interest in that.
I had to help him the day before.
Hold on. Are those injuries from glass?
Yes.
We were in the house the day prior, remember? We were helping Mr. Lloyd with his house, and poor Adam here fell out of the window and onto the ground.
That explains the broken window, I suppose. That's something that's been bothering me. How did you fall out of a window?
Do you want me to tell the truth?
No, don't tell the truth. God damn it.
Okay. Well, hey, that's out of character. Like, I was just asking.
Yeah.
That.
Tell him what you told your wife. It was a work-related injury.
It was a really bad work-related injury, just straight up.
A work-related injury?
Yeah.
As you know, sir, Mr.
On a
Adam
property
here
that had 3 people murdered in it.
Sir,
Yeah,
as you know, Mr. Adam here is employed by Mr. Lloyd, as a carpenter. So we were just doing what we were paid for. And unfortunately, some of the supports in that house aren't as strong as you would think. He ended up through the window.
He raises an eyebrow because that doesn't logically explain how a man shatters a window falling through it and falls out of it from a second story.
Is there any other way we
'Cause
could explain it? Because there's no blood on our hands.
Well, the way you've explained it, like, it's very clear that window was broken, and now you've informed him that it was broken because Adam fell out of it. The only logical way that happens is if he forcefully, like, shattered the window falling out of it. In his mind. Because that's the only thing that makes sense.
I get that's the only way that it makes sense, but at the same time, why?
He's the investigator, so like he's asking.
Like, that's done by a floating bed cradle, so I don't know how
he's the one
He's
the one investigating the incident, so it's he's not gonna have that answer. You guys gotta provide it to him if he's gonna figure it out.
It was very disturbing, to say the least, I will admit. But there's really not much else we could do. It was all over in a flash.
You witnessed it happen.
Unfortunately, I could not grab him in time.
In time to prevent what?
Him falling through the damn window.
Him being pushed through the window.
Sir, I want you to take a good look at Mr. Adam, and then take a good look at me. Are you trying to insinuate that I could, in any way, shove him into the window? At the very least, he could throttle me.
I insinuate that you witnessed what happened because you explicitly are telling me that you witnessed what happened.
I witnessed
and I am
him falling
asking
through
you
the
what
window.
happened. And I am asking you how it happened.
Again, sir, over in an instant. I just saw the man go through the window.
So he threw himself out of the window.
No, sir. Then
somebody pushed him out of the window.
It was just him and I in that room at the time. I'm just saying it was a hell of an injury, hell of a thing to happen.
You are
We don't know.
yourself. It's such. Oh my God.
Okay, well, how do you explain this? How else would you explain this? There's
a floating
no good.
bed cradle pushed me out the window.
How else can I explain this without incriminating myself?
Well,
Mr. Man.
The first thing you could have done was not mention that you witnessed it.
Okay, I'm going back on that statement then. Fudge.
Okay.
Just say that you went through a window.
Alright, I went through a window, man.
In that case, he's going to be asking Adam how it happened.
Fluffy, do you want me to tell about the back cradle? Like, out of
God.
character. Yeah, like, this is such a weird catch-22 because we know how it happened. I would want to explain it to him, but it's gonna be dumb as hell.
You could just say it in a way that makes it seem like you didn't actually throw yourself into the window.
Alright. Okay.
Might I out of character suggest
Okay.
you use the fact that there's very clearly some kind of living setup in a on the other side of a crawl space in the basement, and say that there was some person there that you didn't get a good look at.
I mean, how would that relate? Just like,
Yeah,
in terms
we
of, like,
can't
that
really-
pushing me out?
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, we did not leave a body. Did we? Did the guy disappear? I can't remember.
He disintegrated it into dust. There's a pile of dust where he died. So it does not really resemble a body. It's like a pile of ash.
Yeah, but just because
Well,
as
okay,
far
you
as
could.
as far as the police would know, he ran after.
Okay, we could insinuate there was another person in the house and that you just felt yourself getting shoved.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could, you know what, we could do that in terms of, like, hey, we could just pin
Because
it on Corbett.
technically,
we
that's
could,
the truth.
Yeah, we could pin it on, what was it, the main baddie, Corbett, right?
Corbett,
least-
the man who was legally recorded to have died 50 years ago.
We could just say it was a homeless man squatting.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
after you guys like intruded on his space, he, I don't know.
Ran off.
Yeah, like
Acted in a fit of violence and then ran off.
yeah. It's very logical.
What do you think, DM? Is this gonna get us in a war? Because we're technically telling the truth.
Uh,
That guy was
But-
squatting.
What guy was squatting?
Corbett.
Corbett. This is how I
Corbett.
know, but at the same time,
That is-
he died. So that he's a squatter. I gotta mute.
Honest, I mean, like, if the house, I mean, like, if we could really, like, elevate the fact that the house was haunted via the other records, I mean, like, we could elevate the fact that, you know, it did happen and the house did have a track record of being haunted, so, I mean, would we just roll with that? In terms of, like, just bring up how the house was haunted and shit, and then, you know, just, like, bring the fact that we could just legitimately say there was a floating bed cradle?
you do have a ton. You do have a ton of like research that you did before going to the house, and there were
Yeah.
a ton of previous stories that you found.
Honestly,
about
we could
a
leverage
history.
that. Yeah,
You
we
could
leverage-
bring that up. You absolutely
Honestly-
could.
Yeah,
because
do you
you-
wanna-
Okay,
You
guys
know
know
the
that? I have to go to the
information.
bathroom real quick.
Wait, what's up?
Floyd has to go to the restroom.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, like, when Floyd gets back, yeah, we could, I'd be down for, like, we could try to leverage the records of, like, the house being really haunted, and then we can bring up the bed frame. If we want, so if everything lines up consecutively. Instead of being like, oh, a bed frame flew and kicked me in the ass, or, like, kicked my ass out the window.
And also, if you guys are ever confused about a direction, or a course of action to take, you always have the ability to call an idea roll if you describe to me what you're trying to roll it about.
Honestly, I would really like to do an idea roll at least.
You
in
can
some...
you can at any time you can ask me to do one.
Yeah. When Floyd gets back, we can bounce it off. You know, like either or just an idea roll. Either or. Cause
What I
Yeah.
miss?
So, yeah, they were waiting on you to return to execute that plan.
just
Basically, you guys have a lot of information from the research you conducted on the house before you went to it, which, like, out of character, Group B found out some information that you guys didn't, and that information would be saving your ass right now.
Ah!
damn.
How is it they did so much more information stuff when we did really good in the library stuff? How come we couldn't find that information?
Well, because one of them was literally a journalist. That.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, that would actually make sense.
the damn good rolls. Only digging us into deeper shit.
Well, then again, like,
But
what
like,
was it like?
you guys still have plenty of paths. Basically, like out of character. There's a lot of paths and a lot of different results that can happen. You guys have plenty of paths to get yourself out of this.
Honestly, yeah, I'm
It's just that
open-minded for this.
the easiest one was a piece of information you could have found in scenario 1.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
I wish we had.
But then again, I mean, like, there were other pathways that we could take. So I mean, like, I'm open-minded for it. I mean, like, as if you guys are
Yep.
open-minded, I'm easy.
So you guys can use the information you do have.
Okay.
To basically, you have a ton of like knowledge of Boston Globe stories about like that specific house and the series of and the trend of people that move in there going absolutely nuts.
Which I brought up earlier. To like help our story with the police officer going crazy like so quickly.
Yeah. Well, you can like specifically bring up the pattern to him.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Okay, well, Adam, I'm gonna let you do that because he's interrogating you about your back.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Look, officer, we did a bunch of investigations, including the back here.
Mm-hmm.
Before investigating the house, we did a bunch of preemptive research into it, you know, in particular with just researching a bunch of public documents, public libraries, and the sort. And the house had a very suspicious track record of... Look, I'm a Bible-born Christian, and I live by the words of God, and I never, like, on any other day, I would never I would never say this, but the house probably has some hauntings, like, in concerning
So we're just gonna look
track.
crazy.
Yeah, in the past track
Well,
records
you can
Yeah.
mention like the the individual incidents. You can like mention them, or
Yeah, I'll mention
if you-
those because I can't
you mentioned
pull them up.
the track record of it, and
Yeah.
you know he listens to you bring up example after example, and he can't really refute any of them. Like of course he thinks these people are crazy, but you know he's getting the trend. You know, this man is an investigator. He's trained to notice trends and patterns. And he sort of thinks about it. He taps his pencil against his chin, and he says, "That is something to consider. It is certainly strange."
I would also
I'm not
like
one
to
for
bring up some. Oh, sorry, you're still talking.
I'm not one for superstition myself, but that does seem hard to be that much of a coincidence.
Also, sir, I would like to bring up one glaring fact, and the reason why there's only 3 of us here and not the full 4. You said that your officer had no history of mental breaks. I would also like to bring up that our friend, who is currently being handcuffed at my clinic, has also had no.
I've been informed that he has in fact not been handcuffed.
Thank God.
The state appointed a doctor that we kind of trust to look after him while you're here. So
Cool.
we're
Well,
making
good.
sure he's being attended to.
Thank God. But I would like to bring up, he also had no history of mental problems. Yet we were in that house for maybe an hour after getting the officer out, and he is suffering from a break currently, which is why I told your officers to not detain him. I don't want it to get worse. But that's something I also wanted to bring up. It's mighty strange that 2 people who, with no, connection to mental issues, suddenly snapped. Isn't it?
That is strange. And he looks through his notebook and he says, there's another area of the house that bothers me. There was a in the basement of the house, there was a wall that was damaged, and we had some officers investigate the crawl space. We found a room where there was blood and bullet casings. I'd like to ask you all, do any of you own any firearms?
I do own a Martini Henry. However, I have a .45, and it did not leave my car. And if you look into my car, you will see that all of its bullets were in there.
And he says, the car has been investigated, and that holds true to what we found.
I can't remember. Dark,
What about-
you did use yours, didn't you, Dark? You used your gun and not the officer's gun?
Wait, Dark.
Dark?
I think it's an AFK moment.
He turns to you, Adam, and asks you,
Yes, sir.
do you own any weapons?
I do
Any
not,
firearms?
sir.
I'm
no
just a
firearms.
gold-
No firearms, sir.
Now he looks expectantly at the AFKer.
I genuinely can't remember. Did Dark use her gun, or did we use the officer's gun?
Her gun, I would imagine.
Yep, Dark indeed did fire her gun.
Okay, we're gonna have to. Okay,
We're
how
gonna have
are we gonna explain this? Oh God.
Because Corbett.
No, but we can't say because Corbett, because he's dead.
Yeah, like not saying explicitly because Corbett, but it's just like, well, how the hell we're gonna explain the Corbett thing?
Okay.
The Corbett.
How do? Okay, like, is there anything from our research that we could explain?
Yeah, that would be very useful. Like an
I'm trying to remember.
Dark has to load the dishwasher.
I'm trying to remember. Some of you investigated the God, I don't know whether to reveal this because I don't know if it gives an answer to you. Like, I tell you what, you guys can make idea rolls.
Oh, okay. What is that?
Yeah, I'll make
That's
an idea.
that's just roll a d100 against your intelligence stat.
Okay, I've got a
Okay.
29 and my intelligence is 55.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
hang on. My intelligence is 55. Hang on, let me pull up D100. There we go. And 33.
No, we both got ideas.
Right.
Ah!
You both
33 to
get different ideas.
No!
Okay, that's fine. What do we got?
So, Floyd, if I'm not mistaken, you have a little bit of skill in law.
My law, what was that? I have 11.
You have 15
15.
because you improved it at the end of the last area.
Why didn't
Okay.
that save?
That's fine.
All right. Well,
I
you have.
explicitly-
So, with a little bit of your knowledge in law, you recognize you're under suspicion for like murder, for like a triple homicide, and one of the things that comes to mind that's a bit contradictory about this case is if you were all there to murder people, right? Why the hell would you leave one of the officers alive? Why wouldn't you just shoot him? No witnesses, right? Why would you
Yeah.
intentionally save his life and drag him out of danger like that and let him go?
Oh.
That's
Sorry to
one.
hear my
That's
dog.
that's one thing. That's your idea that comes to mind. And
My idea. What do we got?
Adam, did you at all like participate in the searching of the cigar stand?
No, Adam was with me. He was keeping an eye on me because I was down to 1 HP.
Shit.
That's fine. Hey, no stress. Hey, that's no stress.
Actually, Thomas would have probably told you about what he found, because I know he did.
Oh, yeah, Thomas would.
Thomas did.
Yeah, so you recall that Thomas investigated the cigar stand,
Yes.
and found that one of the boxes of cigars, when he opened it, inside that box was an engraving that was the same symbol that you found on the destroyed chapel's wall. And you learned from that the cigar vendor, one of the witnesses who placed you at the house to the police, which, feels strange that he would make himself a witness, right? Like, that feels strange, because of course they're gonna go to Lloyd Thomas because he owns the property, but they wouldn't be going to the cigar vendor. The cigar vendor would be going to them, and you know him as a shady guy from that thing.
Yeah.
So
All right.
you might try to, like,
Leverage?
well, not leverage, but you think that the cigar vendor probably doesn't, when he gave that witness testimony, there's probably some bad intentions there.
All right. So, should I bring up my thing first and then Thomas, and then Adam?
I would say, yeah. That, like,
Or
Yeah,
do
you can do it in any order you choose.
I would say, yeah, your idea would be much more concrete first. That's yours.
because-
yours would be a lot more
okay.
concrete.
So I turned to the investigator.
Actually, I would say he's asking a question to Kaya right now.
Yeah, Kaya's not here.
Yeah, I would say that Kaya should probably answer the question first, and then you guys can shout out your ideas.
We got it. Okay, Dark. So he's asking if you had a gun. You can confirm that, but then me and Adam have rolled idea rolls. So once that's done, we're gonna interject. Okay?
I think it was just an adjustment of the mic. No. That's whatever. It's whatever. Hey, I mean, like, we have a little more. Oh.
We're all dying.
Well, not dying per se. I mean, hey, this is more time to strategize, I guess. I mean, hey, it's better to strategize than just panic.
Panic, say I'm guilty. Lucky away.
Okay, Casey is going
Your
to...
Honor, I did a whoopsie.
All right, welcome back, Casey.
Yo. Your Honor, my
Casey
client
is going to
whoopsie
say
daisies.
that... Yeah, Casey will say that, yes, she had a gun with her.
What kind of gun?
Homemade.
Make, model, caliber.
45.
Sir, can I just inquire about something?
And he's about to speak about the 2.45 bullet casings that were in the secret room and the puddle of blood that was left there, when you interject with,
Sir, if I may, if our intentions were to murder those 3 officers, why in the hell would we leave a witness? Seems a bit strange, doesn't it? I mean, why wouldn't we? If that was our true objective, why risk that this officer could regain himself and try to turn us in? Or why would we leave the cigar vendor? Both were material witnesses. You said that he was a material witness. If we knew that, why would we leave him alive? It just seems a bit strange, don't you think?
yeah, that is strange.
Adam,
Yo, what's up?
your turn.
Oh,
Bring.
They're setting up the layup, Adam. Come on.
Wait, the cigar vendor thing?
Yeah, I set it up. Here, take the talking stick.
Oh my god! The talking stick! Shit! You know what? Shit. You know what? I'm gonna bumble my ass. Can I just have it just be like I just talk with it? Yeah, I'm just gonna bumble my ass with it. I just know it.
Like, in what way are you bringing it up to him? That's the thing.
Also,
because you have information that you've gleaned to use, but it's your choice how you use it.
Adam, do you want me to help you like set it up?
Please do. Why? I should have set up the contact center. Because, dude, I'm just like, you set me up. Yeah, it's cool that you set me up with a cigar vendor. It's just I forgot midway.
I have zero social skills. I don't know how to do this.
Exactly.
I as the as the player, I'm gonna possess Adam and just roll with
Please do, please.
Okay. Cthulhu Mythos roll, please.
as Adam, I'm going to say also something that we noticed when we went to go talk to the cigar vendor is he had this weird symbol in one of his cases, and before we came here, we also did some investigation on that old church that burned down, and that symbol was there as well. So isn't it a bit strange that your material?
What church?
Oh, what was it called?
The Chapel of Contemplation.
The Chapel of Contemplation, sir. See, my friend Thomas and I investigated that area, and we found this symbol. And what's so bizarre is that symbol was also with the cigar vendor. Now
you mention the name Chapel of Contemplation, and immediately you can see an effect on his face because he knows that name.
Now I don't want to.
He is not paying attention to anything else that you're saying. He's standing up, and he's going back towards that file thing, and he's searching through. He's like on a mission this time to find a certain file. And eventually, he brings one out labeled Chapel of Contemplation. And he looks through it and he says, "That's a hell of a name to figure out. Wait a minute." And he reads the address and he says, "That chapel."
Mm-hmm.
Like, as in a question, like a confirmation question. That chapel?
Yeah, that one.
That chapel.
That can't be. That place would. We set fire to that place in 1912.
So why would a cigar vendor have a symbol from that chapel? And thereof, if he was the one who contacted you, which I assume he was, does this mean that his word is any credibility? If he's in two places two very, very suspicious places.
And
two
Dark,
suspicious circles, I would imagine.
Is Dark still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you can also make an idea roll if you want.
Sure. What's that again?
It's a D100 against your intelligence stat.
35.
35?
Yes.
You have an idea too.
Yes!
So, as they're talking about this, you remember, during your investigation with Catherine, that you know that there is a link between that house with the burial of Corbett and his will and his burial wishes being linked to that chapel that's being mentioned right now. So you have a definitive link between that house that you're currently being asked about and the chapel.
Alright, I am going to mention it.
And
I'm gonna say the information that I know.
So you...
Also,
Casual.
Floyd, thank you.
Here we go. Casey,
the chat?
Casey at that, oh. Oh, the Reverend also, that's the guy who enforced Walter Corbett's will. He was the reverend of that church.
And he says, well, if that all is true, then that certainly changes things. Well, we'll definitely have to talk to that cigar vendor again. And you said that you saw the officer who went missing talking to him, right?
Yes, sir. In fact, he bought a cigar, if I recall correctly. Goddammit. Casey, when you went to the cigar vendor, didn't you say that there was one of the cigars missing when Thomas purchased one?
Or wasn't it me, because Thomas told me?
You were with me. You were keeping an eye on the guy who was on 1 HP.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Out of character, I think so.
Yeah, because he had offered it. You said no. Thomas was said sure, and he was trying to, and he offered Thomas the box, and there was like one missing already, and Thomas didn't have time to smoke that.
You guys scammed.
All right, so I am gonna say that. I am gonna mention that. Oh,
And
wait, there was also a cigar missing from the box.
That Thomas bought.
Yeah.
And he didn't have time to smoke that. We were out of that house, and it was still in his pocket. It's actually at my establishment, in his personal belongings.
and as
Hang on.
Yeah?
Did Thomas actually inhale, like, actually smoke one of them?
No, we didn't have time.
No, because I don't believe any of you had anything to light a cigar with.
No,
And I don't remember anything.
well, we had matches. Remember for my medical kit.
yeah, but
we
I
didn't have
recall-
Because
time.
there was nothing to really do about it.
I recall no occurrences of smoking. So
No occurrences of cancer in the lungs.
And as like the first thing's mentioned, he's like attentive, listening. Second thing he's mentioned, he's like writing a lot of things down. But as Kaya mentions this third thing, as all these pieces of evidence start coming together, bridging together beautifully with your teamwork, you see him smile. He's actually seeming very excited at the fact that you can tell he's had a lot of questions about this case.
And we're just answering them with flying colors.
And now, one of his favorite things in the world, when all the pieces start to fit together, is coming to pass.
God, that's me though.
And he says, well, so I suppose there are a few loose ends, but at this point, you've made a pretty good case that perhaps you aren't to be the prime suspects of this case. So he basically offers, there are a few questions I still have, not ones that I believe would incriminate you, but some things that are still bothering me about this. But at this point, I think I can say with this testimony and all the things it brings, should all these be confirmed true, which as he says that, Floyd probably have a bit of nerves about the phone call. They're definitely gonna find out that was a lie, but
apart from that, I mean, like, the rest is held up true.
He said he says, if you wish to add additional testimony, you may. I have a few more notes here of loose ends if you have any information on them. There were missing flashlights. All of our officers are equipped with flashlights, standard issue. But the deceased officers, 2 of them that we found in the main hallway of the first floor, their flashlights were missing.
I don't remember actually taking the flashlights with us. to be
Casey
honest.
is gonna pipe up. Oh yeah. We used those because, like Floyd said earlier, there was no power in the house, so we kind of needed them to see.
While
Especially
investigating while investigating the property.
He thinks about that answer, and he writes something down. And he says, "Are you still in possession of those flashlights then?"
If we had them, they're probably still in my vehicle.
If you want to go grab, I would imagine, like, if you want to go grab them, then go ahead or something, right?
Yeah. they're
Yeah,
probably
Casey would be like, yeah, I believe the one that I was using is still in my vehicle.
You would not mind if we asked for those back.
No, not a
Oh,
problem at
no,
all.
no problem. I can grab it for you once we're done here.
Wonderful.
Oh, wait, hang on. How come they booted my car and not hers?
Well,
They booted mine.
hmm. And
Yeah.
he moves on and he says, "We found one of the officers was dead in the basement, and not only was he quite brutally split in half, but he was partially eaten."
The eaten part I can't explain. There was a very large, very disgusting influx of rats.
And he says, "Well, I
don't
guess
know.
that would explain that."
As much as it disturbs all of us here.
I've
We're
never
not
seen-
quite sure how he ended up split in half, but we did come across the rats kind of snacking on him.
We almost
Yeah.
got bit ourselves. If I recall
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah, we were just literally observing them, and they were just staring back at it. It was nightmarish.
Well, we'll have to figure out what the murder weapon is there. I don't think there's no evidence of him being shot in half or batoned in half. Those were the only possible weapons we found at the scene. You would know that he was split in half by the flying knife, which one of you has possession of. I think it's Floyd.
Oh yeah, the flying knife. I forgot about that.
Or actually, I watched back the audio and it was confusing to me. Like, did Adam take it or did Floyd take it? 'Cause both of you wanted it.
I took one thing, which was on the body, and I got that
It was the
power.
amulet, right?
It was the
Yeah,
amulet, yeah.
you took the
And
amulet. Adam took the knife.
had the knife.
So
Say-
Adam, you are in possession of that.
you can bring up that you found a knife.
Yeah, I'll go and do that. Yeah, I found the knife. It was that was lying on the floor. It was. Should I mention about it floating, or that would be
No.
too far fetched?
Too far-fetched. But you said
Yeah,
it was near his body.
let's hold the it was floating for later.
Yeah, we could just say though that we found a knife that was near his body though, and for our own protection, because you were one-handed, you grabbed it for safety.
Yeah.
Indeed. I guess it would be difficult for you to meticulously split someone in half with a broken arm.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, would you be fine with submitting that knife into evidence?
Oh yeah, of course. Go ahead, man.
Wonderful.
Go ahead, man, says the guy talking to an investigator.
No. Cooperation can be noted in these kinds of things.
Exactly.
You will note that only your fingerprints will be on that knife.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now that since I already mentioned it was under my possession while I had it, it's already just as mentioned.
Yeah, you were holding on to it because of the fact that it was.
There's also a lot of rusted old blood on it and new blood from that officer.
and the fact it's only fingerprints from one of his hands, and you probably need two to do this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there can probably be some plausible deniability with all that. Maybe somebody wiped it down beforehand.
Yeah.
Who knows? But in
According
that
to the
case,
spirit that we're not mentioning.
well, I don't have any more questions. In that case, I suppose I will arrange for your release shortly after you leave this room.
I would like to say something real quick. Investigator, just so you there's no bad blood, we tell the officer that it still remains that if he still needs if he would like, he could come by my clinic for a psych eval just to make sure that he's recovering well.
He is currently being held in the Roxbury Sanitarium.
Damn. I would grimace at that. I still hate that place.
Yes, I'm afraid we have a contract with them. Kinda,
That's understandable.
it's our
Well,
Yeah.
wish his
it's our
family
it's
well
our
for me.
it's our go-to.
Business
Asylum.
is business.
That's understandable. Well, wish his family well.
Yeah.
Yes, if we have any that can afford your care, we will inform them of that. And he
Afford my care.
I mean, you probably charge more than a actual, like,
This is
public
it's a
facility.
benefit thing. They get it because of the benefits.
Forgive me, but I don't think you're practicing 1920s socialism care here.
No, I'm messing.
Yep. But as he allows you to now exit the room and informs you that you are no longer are no longer under arrest for under suspicion of these charges. He first asked that, if we need anything else from you, will we be able to reach you for any other comments we may need you for.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. And before you go, he mentions to you, Floyd and Kaya, because you both have connections in your various ways to him, the police station, and he says, if you ever need I don't typically, I try to remain within the law and, be fair and all these things, but if you ever need any favors or anything extraordinary like this, I'm more than willing to do my best to help you within the bounds of the law.
Yeah. Thinking back, didn't we actually did call somebody after we got back? Because
Yeah, Thomas's wife.
Thomas's wife. Wait. Was it my wife?
No, it was Adam's wife. Adam's
Yeah,
maid.
it was Adam. Yeah, you call it his. That's not
We called
exactly
his
like
wife, but we
emergency
also-
services or the
I-
police or.
I feel like we also called the police to tell them about the bodies. I made two. I think we did, but I can't remember if we did or not.
I don't recall that. That's.
I
Might have to
remember
be
we were
more
talking about it. I'm
informed.
like, should we tell them that there's like a situation afterwards?
You were talking about potentially telling Lloyd about that and decided not to.
I remember.
I remember it now.
Damn.
Maybe
that could
that's
have
what I
really
thought
helped
we-
out.
I know that there was like a conversation about. That's why I went with the phone call.
I
thing.
remember because I actually had it in my mind before I even set on doing this session. I need to make sure that you didn't say anything about it to Lloyd, because otherwise his testimony is going to change.
Yeah, but I also, again, that's why I went with the whole phone call thing, because I swear we really did call somebody, like...
It was just my
tell them
wife. That's why.
We called your wife. I remember that. But we also called I thought we called, like, to say, oh, there's some injured policemen at this property we came upon. But I can't, but I swear I thought we did that. That's why I went with the whole phone call thing.
I don't remember that.
I hate this like
If I
big
if I
time gap shit.
yeah, if I try my best. I've got two things to manage and not a lot of
Yeah.
time and not a lot of experience of doing it quickly.
Yeah, I'm not blaming you, Hex. I'm just like that was like really familiar in the back of my head.
I
Yeah.
know. That's why I went back
So
and like
how am I
listened
gonna?
to it.
Is this gonna screw us up? That I said that we called the cops.
You can mention it, like you've not yet left him, like, and he seems like this is about probably the most charitable police officer that you're going to be able to like mention it
Yeah.
to if you decide to. Like,
Yeah.
this guy knows you from the war. You've taken care of his daughter. You've like saved some of his buddies at like horrific World War I battles. And you know what? You've helped him solve what looked like a absolutely crazy freaking case with your testimony. So he's probably feeling pretty charitable towards you, if you could guess.
Okay. Thank God.
Especially, so if you want to tell him, hey, you know, that one thing I said, it was out of nerves or something, you could probably say something like
I could bring up. I do call better now. And I do apologize because I was baffled about this whole thing. The person we called wasn't your services team. I remember now. We called Adams, and I point to Adam, his wife, and
Dude.
that's the number I called that day. I apologize. A lot's been going on, as you can tell.
And he looks bit he looks at you like he's questioning the fact that you might have made that mistake, like earnestly, but then he's just like he looks at you and you kind of feel, you probably feel a little bit nervous as he stares you down, and then he smiles and you see him strike something on the paper, and you would guess that might be part of the
phone
testimony about the phone call.
If he could just write in Adam's
Hey, at
wife.
least now it's fully clean and now fully the truth now.
Yeah, we told everything within the limit of the truth that we knew.
So yeah, I mean, like, now we're just completely in the clear, and well, at least relatively in the clear. Now we don't have any lies attached to our name.
Yeah. And plus, they can verify that I did call your wife. Because she came.
Indeed, but now some worrying thoughts remain. Somebody probably tried to frame you.
Yeah.
And moreover, you've seen them be buddy-buddy with at least one officer, to the point that they shirked their duties.
There's no way.
How do you know that that might not happen again if they try to go after him and question him? Who is he?
Oh crap.
And
could it be the guys behind the killing of that detective way back with me and Thomas?
Well, you actually overheard that investigator before he died, before you left him to his fate.
Yeah.
You overheard that he was after these guys because he thought they were involved with the chapel.
Oh,
so you know that was actually somewhat involved.
Oh no. Okay.
But
got their attention.
All these questions, all these anxieties, the danger, the intrigue, it will have to wait until the next scenario. Whenever I get finished writing that plot, because God, that's a long process.
It's gonna be a nightmare, huh?
But until then, I am DM Hex. These are 3 of my 4 players, and have a great day.
Oh my God.